Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Linux command line scripting. So far in my previous episode I have discussed about head command and in this episode I am going to discuss about the tail command. The tail command is almost opposite of head command. It is going to return you the last n number of lines of a file or your custom command line script and so on. So let me just show you an example. Suppose in case you have done a cat command or something like that, cat of a file, say abc.txt, and then you can choose to use all your command line scripts along with this. So right after that you can just use the tail command, tail, and if you just leave it as such, it is going to pick the last 10 lines of this dump. It can be a file dump or it can be some sort of filtered output right after this command line script which you have done. So it is going to display the last 10 entries of this output, and so that is almost similar to head command, and the head is going to display without any options. It is going to display the first 10 entries, whereas tail is going to display the last 10 entries. But you can control and you can choose to use in terms of number of lines you want to display by various options. -n, you can just choose to use the number of lines you want, and that way you can just extend this range. So this is the use of tail command, but along with head and tail, it becomes quite handy in terms of controlling your file dumps or some sort of filtered command line script filtered dumps, and you can just choose the kind of range you want to get the output as. So in case you have a large output, with head command you can just choose the topmost portion, and you can just exclude this portion, and then followed by which with the tail command you can also choose the mid portion of this output, and you can just choose to ignore this part as. So this is what it can be used along with the head, and you can choose the kind of range you want it, and then right after doing that you can just do any sort of database import or something like that, or even you can just choose to create some sort of report or something like that. So let me just show you guys right in my desktop, and then show you some real use cases so that you can use it in your day-to-day use cases as such. Hey guys, welcome to my desktop guys. So as I said in all my episodes, in case you want to learn more options in a specific command, you can always choose to use man pages, but the intention of these videos is not about teaching various options available, but instead I just want to show the relevance of learning this command, at the same time give you some real world examples so that you can implement them right away in your day-to-day activities in your job as well. So what I have done is I have just created these two files, and I hope you can understand this is something which I have discussed in my previous episodes. So this is like a mydb.txt, it is like a CSV file, you can just assume, and this has this input, but whereas in this episode what I have done is I have created a small variant of my existing mydb.txt, and in this case what I have done is the data, the CSV rows is preceded and followed by with some sort of file header you can imagine, and I just represented with this percentage symbols as such. So assume you want to filter this and you want to get only these selected lines. What you can choose to do is you can just choose to use a combination of head and tail, but before doing that what I can do is I can just show you an example of tail command. So if you just do tail, nothing fancy happens. The reason is tail will display the last 10 entries as such by default, whereas you can just choose to use the number of lines in a way much more customized way. You can just choose to use something like this. It is showing the last line, whereas tail -n2 it shows the last 2 lines as such. So this is what happens with tail command, whereas in case you want to choose to select this portion of the file contents, you can just choose to use head and then tail combination of commands as such. So what you can do is you can just choose to use head -n -1 So what it is doing is it is showing all the lines except the last line. So by this way we are filtering out the last line, and then now you can choose to use tail command -n and then select +2. So this way what happens is it is going to remove this first line, and it is going to choose only this contents as such. So this way you can just filter out a custom range with a combination of head and tail commands. And tail is quite handy every time you need to exclude some portion of file or command output at the topmost region as such. So that's all guys for this episode. I hope you guys liked watching this video. Please do subscribe to this channel guys, and in case you like this video, please hit the like button. Thank you. Have a nice day.